So setup-wise, as we said, it's pretty good to be fair. You sort of stand to the golf ball nicely. Grip-wise, for me, it's fine. It's proven by what we've seen there how you're holding the club, which A, feels comfortable, B, can create power, and it's able to return the golf club back to the target.
Like is that the normal
aiming,
distance?
Aiming the golf ball straight at the target. Yeah, I mean, roughly speaking, that would have been going about, say, 130 on average. I would say for a 6-iron. At the moment, it's fine. A couple of you to get a bit more oomph into it, and again, over time, once you get more confident, that'll be 145, 140, maybe 150, and that's a yardage you can play to.
Yeah.
If you want that club to go further, a longer one. There's clubs in your bags to hit the ball further. You haven't got to try and force the club beyond what it can do.
Try and like thrash it.
Exactly. Because you're and the thing is, there's still a little bit more speed. I mean, it's hard to put a number on it sometimes, but you're probably swinging about 75% at the moment. Anywhere between that and 90 would be okay.
Yeah.
When you start getting towards 100, you're losing control.
Yeah.
So we still want to give it a good hit. We won't be just slowing down and tapping it, but at the same time, there has to be some balance. Now, the issue you had before, as we said, as you went back, the club was going back. There's a lot of leg action. Okay, even with that club only gone halfway back, there's a gap now appearing between your legs. At the top of the backswing here now, your left is off the ground. The club, you said you sometimes sort of saw dangling down here, going, oh, hello, where have you come from, sort of thing, and you've lost a lot of stability from there. Okay, so we said the sort of sensation for you is no legs on the way back. Okay, now as you'll see in this case here, as you do go back, the legs are moving, but the sensation feels there's no legs at all. That to me would be perfect. And if there's a difference in those two there, that's pretty good. Look at the difference. Your foot's flatter, you've got a nice stable base, top of the backswing in a good position. From there now, you can return that club back to golf. Now, in fairness, you do go a little bit further, but there's not as much lower half movement as we can see. So you look in a balanced position there now. And what we said before is if you're in an unbalanced position, your top half has to bring the golf club down, your left sort of stamps on the ground. So the club now is coming out to in. So at this position here, look at that club. So that club now is kind of almost dissecting the golf ball, coming across it and going to produce that sort of shot. Whereas this one here now, as you come back down, your club now, as you come into impact, your club is there.
Look at that.
You can see now is this side of the golf ball and a more direct contact to target. Thus, as you make contact with the golf ball, it now flies towards the middle part of the screen, and you can then twist your lower half through. This was one of the early ones. It went straight, but as you started getting better, your lower half was twisting through a little bit more and a bit quicker. But overall, that right foot, we'd look to sort of see it pretty straight up. And by the last half dozen shots, you were getting that. This was one of the early ones, where you sort of you weren't quite coming through as much. But you see, let's go with a bit more practice. And again, when you start getting the confidence, you could actually twist through and create that speed. That foot was twisting through more. The foot's going to twist through more because of this hip turning on the knees, and not you sort of just independently kicking it. So if you try and move your left or your right foot, you just fall over. Okay, so as you twist through more, that confidence turn a lot exactly as if you're throwing a ball. You throw a ball left-handed, but the same sort of principle. Okay, whereas this one here now, look at your right foot. Is it going to move? It's kind of an afterthought, and then it comes at the end. Hasn't really moved until well after the shot. There, it's just on a lift off the ground now. So. Partly because of that, is you've had to try and stabilise your lower half. You sort of swung back. Your brain's got to create a sort of sense of, I'm out of balance. I've got to try and get my feet down on the ground and try and stabilise something. Now try and get some speed with my arms. Swipe the arms at it, which meant the club was then coming across the ball like so. Thus results in your slice, which thus resulted in you aiming 30 yards left of target to try and compensate, and it just basically it masked the fault. Didn't cure it, but it just masked it.
Sometimes you would hit it straight on,
and then
you would go that way,
and then you think, what a plonker. Exactly, and usually when there's sort of water or trouble or trees over there, exactly, we've all been there, where you're trying to avoid hitting a bad shot. You don't hit the bad shot, and then you go in more trouble you find on the other side of the golf course. But that's it. We can minimise the amount of leg action there.
Well,
again,
like that one I flunked there, what you said was, I know what I've done.
You can feel it, can't you? And I think seeing it is sometimes kind of believing. Feeling it then is half the battle to making the change. If you can't feel or see the difference, you'll just keep doing the same thing because you're not aware of what the difference is. But if you now can sort of see, okay, when your lower half goes back, that's kind of where that's a really good position there, where your base is nice and stable. Now you can just twist through with some speed and balance and good swing. So, make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Right.